guys, I may have found the cheat code to everything in life, like money, I don't know, success, health, all of it. It's done. And I just tried this out and have a good solid week of evidence to support this. So you should really take this into consideration for the rest of your life. Drop everything and spend the next time listening to a wizard on the internet, because I think I got something here, people. Check this out. It all begins with money. Ooh, did I get your attention? Cash. You want the cash, right? Tons of money. I just got like a ton of it in the last week. Okay, maybe it's not a week, like 2-3 weeks. I'm not good with time, okay? Maybe I've been doing this for a month. I don't know. But it came from one cognitive shift. I literally just shifted one thing that I thought about, that I heard in the Bible. Don't unclick right now. If you heard that, you're bad. Stay. Replace it with whatever book that you want to religiously obsess over and call not the Bible, because the demons and you get all frantic. I don't care. You say Richard Dawkins. What's he doing? Dating a AI robot now as he sits there. Did you know he's like, oh yeah, actually Christianity is a good thing now. I have an AI girlfriend. Cookie. Who called that one? Me. Just keep that in mind. Anyway, how do you just do this one little paradigm shift? One line in the Bible, verse, that's the word, right? It's called verse. And it's changed my life, my health, my wealth, my relationship with reality itself. Yeah, big claim. And I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it. So what is it? So all of it comes down to, and don't go running off because you hear it and think, I got the idea. No, because I probably heard this like 1,000 times in my life. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm keeping it a secret. I'm going to tell you later in this video. You're going to have to stay. And then I'm going to reveal the truth to you. Ooh, isn't that sound special? You don't even have to sign up for a course. You just have to invest your time, which frankly is a lot more valuable than the money you give to these gurus anyway. I'm giving it to you all for free. I'm sitting around. I'm not getting cash, and I am working hard. I am trying to desperately hold a business up by sheer force of will. I am just pushing it through the ether, and it's an absolute nightmare. And I finally go and I release it, and I say, nope, I'm done. I'm gonna go the easy way to make money, which is to go find rich people and make them way more money, which is a lot easier to do. And so I go and I do that instead of trying to help everyone and get small groups of people who are in desperate situations to get them the solutions they absolutely need, and then have them pay me money to do that. That's very hard versus finding people who are wealthy and already have cash and then just making them lots and lots and lots and lots more money. Night and day, friends. And so I let that go. And from there, I hear the scripture of the Lord. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm keeping it a secret, because if you do, you're just going to run away. But what the concept is that each and everything that's happening right now is because of God's will. And when this concept drops in and you really get it, like you're going to very soon, as you go deeper into your mind now, and you don't just understand it, but you notice it and you experience the feeling of it in just a moment, you start to realize what those implications are. If everything is God's will, that crushing, agonizing pain of the business was God's will, and the absolute blessing of just the most incredible, wonderful client that I've ever had in my life, just an absolute wonder, the best I've ever had, is also God's will. So God gave me an extreme stress, and he also gave me an extreme blessing. What you start to notice is that if this is true, if we just play pretend together here and assume this is all God's will, really, the pain and suffering of the business is actually just as good as the blessing of the career. Now, why is that? Because they were both given to me by God. Now, when I shifted this perspective, it started making me understand everything about what I had been through in a different light. As I started to notice every single thing I did as I just forced my way through this incredibly difficult business, every single thing that I learned there ended up becoming the fruits that I'm able to bring into the career that I have now. So those painful times, those struggles, those difficulties that you're going through, I started to realize are not actually pains and struggles at all. None of that is true. It is training from God. Now, of course, because I'm stupid and slow and a wizard on the internet who's a little kooky, God had to do this really silly way of teaching me. He had to come through this realm of money, material crap. But then I started thinking about it and I realized, like, wait a minute, does this apply to everything? What if everything is just God's will? What if when someone is annoying and they come into your life and bother you, what if that annoyance was sent by God through his will to train you? What if he's teaching you how to be virtuous, how to see the light inside of other people instead of seeing the darkness? What is it training you to do, to tolerate? What if the getting stuck in traffic is there to teach you how to be patient? And when you realize this shift, if you're starting to feel it like I'm felt it then and feel it now, you realize that you have an incredibly unfair advantage. Oh, sinful Tyler, of course, that's what we all are. I'm immediately thinking about how this makes me better than you. See, I'm doing it right now. I'm realizing the flaw and it makes me happy. Because think about it. If you're stuck in non-awareness of God's will realm, these things just drain you. They make your life miserable. They make you feel like crap. They become excuses that you use to have a worse life. I'm tired. I didn't get much sleep yesterday. Okay, so now I'm going to be grumpy and I'm going to do a bad job at work and I'm not going to do my best all day because you didn't get a little sleep. Or is God testing you right now? Is this the training that you've been waiting for? And is he sitting here going, will you still crush while you're sleepy? Will you still crush while you're sad? Will you realize that I'm giving you this opportunity to become stronger, to harden you, to train you? And that shift, when you feel it, makes you unlock and realize that there is an unlimited amount of training going on that he's just sitting there giving to you freely. It's this XP. You can just grind people and you can get so good so fast. And so I did. I applied it with my career. I released and went into this career and utilized the training, and it's allowed me to flourish more than I've ever done before. And that is the shift that takes me into the next level of awareness. And so what we've discussed here is, first, I took it and I did it in the realm of career over the last, 2-3 months. It's just all a blur. Time is stretching, shrinking for me. Zoom, zoom, zoom. How long has it been? I don't know. Time stretches, interdimensional portals, and you can feel that now. Have you ever noticed that, how a minute can feel like an hour, and an hour can feel like a minute? When you dream, when you're having fun, when you're bored and stuck in traffic, time just stretches and shrinks. And that's the world that I live in. And as I did it with my career, I applied the training, accepted the training, and what happens after you accept the training is that there is the period of the pain, and then there's the release. There is God giving you gifts, which are a whole different way of seeing the world. Is the good that comes into your life is from Him. You didn't make the money. You didn't make your life wonderful. You didn't bring these blessings into your life. You simply did the training that was provided, and the Lord rewarded you for it, not because you deserved it. Because if you got what you deserved, you'd be dead, kid. You'd just die if you got what you deserved. You get well more than you deserve. And in reality, that perspective of the gifts is such a healthier view to have of it, because you realize this was given to me freely. Now, what I've noticed is the next level is when I get the gift, the next step is that then the prince of this earth don't like you getting presents. He's sitting there going, it's my birthday. Where's my present? And he gets angry as he sends his little guys to come get you. And that's where, once you get the gift, all of nonsense starts popping up. A lot of old man at the sea, he's got the fish and he's going back, and all those sharks are nom, 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 nom. And that is ding, ding, ding. Remember, the paradigm that you're going to unlock is another test. It's just another test. He wants to see, will you allow the sharks to nibble away at the fish and have faith that you were pursuing the training to discipline yourself more than you were just trying to get a present? And if you do, and you get to the end, you look at your fish and it's all chewed up and you've made it to shore. He takes the fish, he dips it into the water and lifts it up, and the fish has grown 10 times its size, is fully healed, and he hands it to you. This is the realm that I've been living in for like the last 3 to 6 months. And it's blowing my mind as time keeps stretching and stretching. Because all of this can happen in an instant. You can just realize it. And it can all just happen now. It all is redeemed. Everything that's happened before, everything that will happen then, can be happening for you right now. No matter how long time has stretched, no matter how many years have gone by, it can all be redeemed in a moment. When you realize how this is working in your life. And now, when you start to really consider all of this, man, all of the scriptures started to just click, 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 click in my head, just unlocking a codex. The last shall be first, the first shall be last. To give freely to the poor. Why? Because you're allowing things to flow through you. If life becomes too easy, you get clogged up, and then he's got to give you a bigger trial. That's why you don't want to be just like holding on like Mr. Moneybags here, Mr. Krabs with his cash. You want to give freely. God has entrusted you with gifts, and if you start realizing everything's a gift, the food on your table, the money in your bank account, everything is gifts, and not just gifts. There's 2 types. There's 2 things. There is gifts, and God's just saying, here you go, bud. You did good. Pat, pat, pat. Nice work. All right? And then there's another one, which is if you are consistently taking on the training from him and applying it to your life, and then using that to enact his will, he also wants to employ you. He comes up and he says, all right, I see that it looks like you're doing some good work over here, bud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invest. I'm giving you some money to manage. All right, he's going to give it to you, and he's going to see what you do with that money. And I want you to start realizing that when you get from God, you need to start learning that that is your job to manage that. How do you want to tell him? Because you're going to have an account of receipts, and you got to tell him where everything went. Of course you need to eat. Of course you need to... And by the way, this is not a call to stoicism either. Stoicism is a great idea, but that is not what that book teaches you. this best-selling book of all time. You should really check it out. 5-star review. It is offering you abundance and plenty. Live a good life, but also give freely. Give well. Why? Because it's training you. It's training. You're a fool. Like, you can go and take his gift and just hold it and this is mine. I'm holding it. It's mine. I got it. And he just goes up and he's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you got that. I guess you didn't get it, though. Like, what did you not get? You didn't get the bigger picture, which is the reason you got was because it was a gift. And there is training to be done that proves that you're responsible enough to handle more. So the training exists to strengthen the soul so he feels safe with trusting you with more responsibility. He doesn't just want to give you everything, because most people, if you gave them if you really got everything that you think of and all your wildest dreams, I just want all the money and the fame and the fortune and the women and the power. If I could just have it all, you'd go insane. You'd blow your brains out within 6 months. Like, and this isn't like, oh, really? No, not me. I'm different. Go see the people who have done it. This isn't like a one-time phenomenon. This is a recurring pattern that we've seen over and over and over and over again with celebrities. Like, there's entire terminologies for this problem where you give people everything and their entire life just blows up. And so if you want to avoid all of that, I just want you to deepen your awareness now. Relax. Notice where your attention is and bring it to that hand. No, the other one. That's right there. And allow your mind to stretch. And notice how everything slows down. Because a moment can feel like a lifetime, and a lifetime can feel like a moment. And step in to that moment that's coming to mind now, in the recent past, where something was frustrating and annoying for you. Was it day or was it night in that memory? Were there other people around, or was it just you? How were you feeling in that moment right there? As you step into that moment now with your imagination, see through your eyes. What's the temperature like? How's it feel on your skin right now? There. In that moment. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. How are you understanding this situation? What makes it frustrating? What makes it annoying? And there's good reason for it too. Let's not play pretend here and say that this isn't real. This is truly a frustrating and annoying situation. You are right. Now, in that moment, consider this. All things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. What would it mean if that situation right here, right now, was a test? What could it be trying to teach you, calling you to become better at? What skills, virtues might it be trying to open up a window for you to train? That's right. Notice how the feeling is transforming now. Feeling that transformation inside and out. look around in the room from that perspective and allow the perspective to sink in, floating from that moment then all the way back to this moment with me here and now. And when I had this cognitive shift, it's really started to just transform how I've seen everything in my life. All the pain, all of the suffering is transformed. It's redeemed. And how quickly it's redeemed, because everything is working towards his will. Everything is an opportunity to grow. Everything is a way for me to become better than you. And I am using it, so you better pick up the pace, people. Catch up. You're not going to let me get ahead of you. And so this isn't just some magical solution to solve all your problems like all these liars do. All these scammers, all these manifestors. I'm going to manifest all this money and fame and fortune. No. Because you know what happens to the manifester? The manifester gets what they want. It actually works. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? I mean, you actually have to do the work as well. You have to manifest and do the work. If you don't actually do the work, it doesn't work. But the idea is that, yes, if you set for yourself a goal and put in the work to get it, everyone gets what they want. The problem is you're a terrible wisher. So instead of doing the wishing and ending up like another Robin Williams and ending up like another fill in the blank, why not allow the thing that made everything, all the atoms that you're made of right now, those little vibrating particles that made 2 + 2 = 4. What if we let him do the wishing for us? Just a thought? Maybe something worth giving a try? And if you do, suddenly your life becomes a lot more fun, a lot more interesting, a lot more meaningful. And that's what I have felt, is that life has never been more fun and more interesting and more exciting as I sit there and go, this too is a test. This too is a test. This too, and it's just, and I just am like, bring it on. Let's keep this going. This is good, because it's all his will. And no matter how bad it gets, whether that's your health, that's a terrible autoimmune disease, that's a business failing, whatever it is, you deserved it. You absolutely deserved it. You deserve way worse. And what's so amazing is that he's actually using that to make you way better. And so if you're going through a tough time and you're going through a difficult moment, you now know how to view it and see it through new eyes. You can let the scales fall off your eyes now and start to see the world in a very new way.